Today in Algebra we're going to deal with 8.4, which are properties of log functions. So today is going to be about how I can expand things and how I can put them together in more simple forms. So let's take a look at our properties. First of all, there are three properties I really want you to pay attention to, these three that are on the top. So mn is really m times n. That's what it means when they sit together. So if you have two things that are multiplied together here, I can separate them with a plus sign, putting m and n separately. That is considered the product property. To do the log, if it happens to be a division problem, this is m divided by n, I can expand it by writing a subtraction. And notice they both have the same base as b, just like the product property does. But because m's on top, it's going to go first, and n's on the bottom, it would be the second one. So this part right here, some people will actually write m over n in this form. It's probably what you're used to seeing more often, but it can be written like this. Okay, now if you're dealing with power property, I can take this exponent off and take it and put it in the front. You'll notice the x went off, so now it's x times the log of base b to the m. So on some of these, they're going to simply ask you to go through and tell which ones they are. So first of all, if this has a subtraction sign, the only one that's subtraction up here is quotient. So that would mean this divided by this. So let's see if that works. So if I did this, if this was going to be quotient, 8 divided by 4 should equal 2. So that works. So that's going to be quotient. Now in this one, there's kind of two things that happen. First of all, it's x to the third times y. And you can kind of see the x and y are separated up here by a plus sign. So up here, the only thing that can be separated with a plus sign is that multiplication, which is product property. So this is product. But also notice that this x to the third, the exponent isn't there anymore. It actually got moved in the front. That means that they also used power property. So they used two properties to make that happen. Now on C, I see the plus sign again. And remember, the plus sign had to do with product property. So that means if I take these two and multiply them together, I should get 12. It should equal 12, which it does. So this is product. So some of the problems we're going to do are going to be simple. They're just going to ask you to identify them based on using the properties. Pretty simple. They are also going to ask you to do this idea called expand. Now this one, you can see that it's x divided by y. So remember, when we talked about expanding, that would be using the quotient property. So I take the logs and I split them. Notice they both still have a base of 5. But if it's division, I'm going to put a subtraction sign here. The one that's on the top goes here. The one that's in the bottom goes second. This is the expanded version. Now in the second one, it's 3 times r to the fourth. So I'm going to use the product property, and I'm going to separate these using a plus sign. Notice that I didn't write bases down. I have to assume those bases are 10. Now the only thing left that I can do on this one is I can take this 4 and move it in the front using the power property. So I don't do anything at all to this one. And then it's 4 log of r. And this is your expanded version.